originality of my songs is what, and addressing social situations was what was outstanding.
Right. Greetings, family, greetings, and welcome to this special edition of a gotkushTV exclusive interview. As you may know, my name is Shakara, and you know the word legendary. The word legendary is a word that we throw around many times, and there are many times that we use this word that it don't often apply. But I kid you not, when I use the word legendary in this instance, there is no hyperbole. I am not overstating a point. We are sitting next to, I should say, one of the pioneers of the beautiful music that was born out of the African experience in Jamaica, the music called reggae music. Family, I am sitting next to the one and only Bob Andy. Greetings,
Greetings,
sir.
Shakara.
Greetings. How you doing?
Fine.
Good. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Pleasure to be on Kush TV.
Thank you for giving us your time, sir.
Pleasure.
So yes, sir, we want to begin just by, just in case some of our audience, some of us, are, young like myself and were raised on your music. And some of us, even though we were raised on your music, may not be too familiar with the name. Sometimes you know the music, the tune, but you don't know the artist, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So who is Bob Andy, and when did Bob Andy get into music?
Well, Bob Andy came out of a guy called Keith Anderson. Got into music at the age of about 20, but started music as a business. But started writing and singing from teenage. Started out as a duo with Don Evans. Don Evans and myself incorporated other youngsters.
This is the Paragon.
Yes, and so the Paragons went through a certain amount of members and names before we settled at the four. And we spent 2 years together, and we did we got John Holt into the group as the last member, who were looking for a frontman with a very established voice, and he had that. And he had the whole stage experience before the other three of us.
Yes, sir.
So he came into the group and we got on for a while, and he was fired from the group for selfish reasons. And we took Vic Taylor.
Yes.
You ever heard the name Vic Taylor?
Of course, yes.
Vic Taylor came into the group as the lead singer in 1965. 1966, the group did the festival song competition. It was the only year that known artists, established artists, did the show.
Right.
And these shows go around the island, and the winner for the song is who gets the festival song prize. Well, 66 was a rough year. 66 was when His Majesty came to Jamaica.
Yes, sir.
And so Bam Bam won the song.
Well, if you're going to use to our song, let's take with that song.
Bam Bam. The show had the great blues busters.
Yes.
Both have now passed on. Joe Hicks was passed on. Derek Harriott, Paragons, and Winston Samuels, and a few others. Like I said, at the end of the year, at the end of the shows, Bam Bam was the winner.
Yes. Toots and the Mates was right.
Yes. Tyrone said to me after one Friday evening at Kingston Parish Church, where the group actually started, he said, Vic Taylor is a very good singer, but John is more compatible with the group. And I agreed. I said, however, if John comes back, I'm going to leave.
Yes, sir.
I said, yes, I'm going to leave. And so I left, and we recorded as the Paragons at Studio One. And so when the group defunct, when I left the group, they went to Treasure Isle, and I went back to Studio One. That I realized that Coxon had an admiration for the way I went about doing my thing. And so that was how I got into the business as a group and as a solo artist.
Okay. So now I think that you are unique among your peers, if I may say, because when your name comes up, so if we speak of John Ho, if we speak of Ken Booth, and that era of singers, I think where you stand out is that when we say Bob Andy, the term writer is used. Yeah, not just artist, not just singer. I think that the idea of you as one of Jamaica's foremost writers is something that makes you unique. Would you say that you're more known as an artist, like a solo artist, or a writer? And which do you have a preference for either?
I'm just happy to be in a business where there's so many good writers from where I come from, so many good performers, and to be called one of the foremost one is really just an amazing honor. I prefer the songwriting term, as I recognize that I can write a good song, good poem, and put suitable melodies to it, and I can present them myself. So I don't mind the term singer-songwriter or songwriter-singer.
All right. So just give our viewers an idea of the people that you have written for. I know you've written for a number of people as well.
I've written not necessarily for people. I've written songs that people cover because they love it. I wrote specifically for Marcia Griffiths in the early days. And I wrote a song. Then I Will said he liked it, so I recorded it with him.
What song is this?
Impossible Love. I wrote a song for and asked Ken Boo to listen to it. He listened and he loved it. I Don't Want to See You Cry. And he recorded it. But the other songs that I wrote, I guess having written songs for Marcia, Delroy and Ken, people started looking into what I'd written before. Even some of the artists at Studio One at the time, Winston Francis, and I don't remember all of the names now, but some of my songs whilst I was there. But after the songs were established, people like Gregory, Big Youth, Barrington Levi, Eddie Lovett, who is an artist out of the United States. Actually, Eddie Lovett is the guy who, the first American artist to have done songs by a Jamaican writer. And the songs in question he did was Let Them Say and To Experience. And that was 1969. My first hit record, so to speak, was a cover. Interestingly enough, Games People Play, which was a very strong message in those days too. It still holds true today. And interesting enough, when Marcia and myself pooled our talents, the first song that became a hit was also a cover, Young People Than Black. So after Games People Play became so massively popular, my songs were not released on the radio because they were like the Cox and Sounds, special dancehall songs. People treasure this music, they don't sell them because they wanted to flop other sounds. But when Games People Play became such a massive hit, like I said, the Studio One started releasing songs by me commercially because the door was already open. And so that's how some of those songs became so well known. Yes, sir. Good. So, I mean, I know that obviously Jamaican music, especially of that era, is known for message music. And you are one of the conduits. That's not to say that there wasn't other styles of music going on, you know. But truly, when I went to Studio One, one of the things about my popularity is the fact that I represented this kind of lyrics before. But when I went to Studio One, Bob Marley was singing Tom Jones, What's New Pussycat, the Beatles, And I Love Her. And so they'd done the big hit there before though. Simmer Down. Thank you. And so the originality of my songs is what, and addressing social situations was what was outstanding. Right. And I guess that is what gave me the image and the fact of being a prolific songwriter. So was it that you made a concerted effort to bring social commentary to your music, or was it just a natural? Well, I had no my mother and surroundings when I was growing up. I didn't spend a lot of time with my mother, but she was one of the first Rastafarians I knew. My mother, she never locks, but she never straightened her hair or things like that. First woman I know who never seen her with straightened hair. And they were very conscious Garveyites.
Right.
So I grew up hearing about the struggle.
Your mother was a Garveyite?
Yes, well, Rastafarian, and most times if you're a Rastafarian in those days, Garvey, it started at Garvey. Because it is said that Garvey is the one who pointed the way to Rastafari looking to Ethiopia. So I was aware, but whilst I wrote love songs with the Paragons, my music, my idea of writing took a different turn when I heard Bob Dylan for the first time. And the things he wrote about, I became so one can actually write and criticize what you don't like.
Yes.
So it was a good platform for me to say the things I want to address, as we put it, truth to power.
I was going to touch on aspects of the question I'm going to ask you a little bit later on, but what you just shared, it mirrors the experience of a great soul singer by the name of Sam Cooke. So I want to know about the soul music that you was listening to, and if that had a major influence.
That's
on
the
you.
man I was listening to.
Right. Okay. See, because he said a similar thing. So just to clarify for the sake of the viewers, Sam Cooke was he wrote A Change Gonna Come after hearing a Bob Dylan song. And he said, well,
Blowing in the Wind.
Yeah, and he said, well, black man for write them tune there.
Yes,
you know what I mean? We are doing a black man for write them tune there. And he wrote one of the greatest songs ever written in creation. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, the last interview I did before this, they asked me to play two writers.
Okay.
They asked me which two songs I left to hear by other writers. And I said, Blowing in the Wind, A Change Gonna Come.
Right, okay.
So I'm very aware of the Sam Cooke history.
Yes.
And I grew up listening to a lot of, when I started purchasing records, and found about Sam Cooke and Lou Rawls, I love them both.
Yes.
And I started going to their roots, collected records of Sam Cooke and Soul Stirrers, and the gospel group. Started collecting records of Lou Rawls, the Pilgrim Travelers, was his gospel group. And so I was at an early age touched by the Mahalia Jacksons and the difference. The Jamaican church music kind of has a very drawn, the American, quick, sharp, and spirited.
Yes.
And so all the things that I heard my mother and her generation talked about, when I heard Bob Dylan, all those things just came into play, and I said, okay. And before even knowing that I was going to be published as a songwriter, or even be established as a songwriter, however, I took great pride in writing a song. Without consciously knowing, it must have occurred to me subconsciously that what you do is going to last for a long time. And so you have to craft the best. And one of my admiration for Bob Marley is the fact that he took our colloquial language international. But in the early days, it was about announcing properly so people can understand what you said. From day one, it made sense to me that a music has to be like a part of a book, has to tell a story. And I taught myself that. And so Gregory Isaacs once said to me, so why the only thing I could do in school was write composition, so I became a composer. So I'm probably mirroring that too.
Yes. Well, family, I want to know, we just had some big names here from the back, and we're only 10 minutes into the interview. There's legendary names in front of the back. But we are speaking to a legend, and so we give thanks, for the illustrious legacy. And we're going to dive in, to some of this legacy right about now, and deal with some of your lyrics, Bob Andy, you know what I mean? Because we want to focus on the lyrics. This is Kush TV. And we're going to dive in to some of this legacy right about now, and deal with some of your lyrics, Bob Andy, you know what I mean? Because we want to focus on the lyrics. This is Kush TV, so we're about the lyrics, so we want to focus on the lyrics, and we're going to take a little bit of a journey. As you say, music must be tell a story.
Yes.
So we're going to tell some of your story now through the songs that you've written and that you've sung. I want to start with this song called Check It Out, yeah?
Yes.
Because and the reason being is because the lyrics in the song are very pertinent to our current global situation, the current economics and the things that you say. So I'm going to read a quote from the lyrics here, from the song. And you know what I like about the song, first of all, is that you start off kind of very, it's like any Rhapsody tune, you know, come listen with me, I say, you know what I'm saying, and then it takes a turn, yeah, with the music, and you say, multinationals are really criminals, yeah? All forms of gambling, there's no way you can win, yeah? Now let's stop there for a second, because obviously this is, when did you write this song, first of all?
That song was written 76, I think.
76.
Fire Burning was written 72.
Yes.
Check It Out was written somewhere between 72 and 75 because Michael Manley came into power again, 76.
Okay.
So those songs were written about 3 years apart.
Okay. So you kind of given a clue.
Some multinational, no.
Yeah.
I learned. My thing with I'm interested in politics, but I wasn't given to personalities in politics.
Yes.
But I was quite aware that Michael Manley's tenure as Prime Minister was very enlightening.
Right.
Because we never, like up to then, I mean, I never went to high school or anything.
Yes.
So up to then, I just knew that when you flick a switch, you get light. But I never related it to natural gas. Oil coming from the Middle East to come be naturalized in Jamaica or refined. So when I started learning about all these things, learning about import, export, foreign exchange and how it affects your country and what Michael Manley had all those things going. So both songs were really inspired by Michael Manley.
Okay. What, him, Michael Manley as in the person or just the government that was going on?
No, him, the leader. You see,
right.
What in America today, 2019, is a push by the Democratic Party to use a form of democratic socialism. Michael Manley started that first.
Yes.
So when I heard him and his rhetoric and how he treated the situation, you know, you have to let's feed ourselves, plan to feed ourselves. Then we can think about exporting.
Yes.
So I understood a lot more what politics was about during the Michael Manley era. So I started writing, reflecting what he was saying and what was supposed to happen that was not happening. And I think when I went to, when Marcy and myself were touring on Young, Gifted and Black, we were doing shows all over England. So we were somewhere performing and Marcy went home after the performance one night and I started, Working Men's Club we used to work. Started playing, I'm not a gambler, but I started playing at the pool table, and the blackjack or whatever they call it. And the croupier said to me, but I was playing because I was admiring this lady.
As you do.
So I'm playing and she just said to me, if you want to stick around and talk to me, you can, but you don't have to gamble because the house never loses. So that's why I said all forms of gambling, there's no way you can win.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I would only buy if I went to the racetrack.
Yeah.
This horse himself would have to tell me that it was going to win for me to buy it.
Interesting. You know, that's deep. So far, the inspiration from this song comes from Michael Manley and I lay at the pool table.
Yes.
Massive. We love that. But what's interesting, I don't know if you're familiar with a documentary called Life and Death. But it studies the history of basically Jamaica, the economic situation.
The CIA, the
FBI,
and the
IMF and the World Bank kind of stuff. So obviously the area that you're speaking about,
I'm very much aware of that.
Is pertinent to this.
So that's all. So then when I found out what multinationals did, because multinationals went on to become transnational.
Yes.
Found out about their role in the whole thing and that they really run government.
Yes.
And I had read somewhere where a president, way back in the 30s, said, if the Republic allows the money changers to get a hold of the Republic, they're going to squeeze every juice out of it. And I see it happening now.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think one of the relevance of the strong point in the songs I write is the fact that the more things change, the more they stay remain the same. So what was true then economically and socially is true now even more.
Yes, even more.
Because you have some wicked right, what they call them, right ringers, who insist on eating up. I have this thing about, and I observed this, and I was planning to put this in a song. I don't know if I will, but it said, you know, the people who take their money to the bank, they're the stakeholders, the average person who does a deposit. But my thing is, somewhere along the line, these shareholders eat up all the stake. And that's what the whole multinational thing, you know.
I look forward to hearing that song. I look forward to hearing that song, you know what I mean? But it's serious. The last thing on this particular point, because the era that you speak of is the era in which Walter Rodney was also in Jamaica.
Yes, he was very influential in my life too.
Yeah? Speak about that.
Well, he used to be lecturing at the University of the West Indies. And Jerry Small and G. White, Garth White, who were good friends of mine, were students at JC and the students at... So they had sittings with Walter Rodney. When they said groundings with my brethren, those them brethren I deal with. So, and I remember when Walter Rodney was declared persona non grata by Hugh Shearer, Prime Minister at the time. There's a major upheaval in Jamaica.
Yeah, man. I think that it's the 40th anniversary of that now. They had the end of last year, October last year, was the 40th anniversary. Yeah.
Great upheaval. Yeah. And we know what happened to Rodney, the books he wrote, and what happened to him eventually.
Yes.
So he was one of the, definitely one of my, I don't have idols, but one of the persons I admired.
Did you ever meet him?
No, never met him personally.
Okay, just hear about him.
Always close by, but I never really sat into any of those meetings. But I got, and most of the guys at the university used to really be privy to those things.
All right, beautiful. Well, from that foundation now, we're going to go on to the next song, which concerns the legacy of Rastafari, and the song is called Rasta Come of Age. Yes. Now, when did you come to Rastafari, first of all?
Well, I came to Rastafari before I even started singing professionally. It's a long journey because a lot of the elders in Rastafari, they were into the roots and the rights and the look. And the fact that they loved Africa, loved His Majesty, but we didn't have a lot of information then. Even the Walter Rodney time in Jamaica, you could be charged for bringing certain literature to Jamaica.
As I understand it, there was a ban. Yeah, there was a ban, an official ban on Black Power literature, the autobiography of Malcolm X and other titles of ban.
And you know, I was reading a lot of what inspired me is when I read Eldridge Cleaver's Soul and Ice.
Okay.
I mean, that was just like honey to me. It was sweet reading, and the fact that you had black people in America. I knew about the struggle, but I hadn't started reading about it until then. And that certainly impacted my music. And so Rastafari was a very long, tedious journey for me with because I had a struggle understanding a man in the flesh as a deity. After we grew up thinking about this Jesus Christ who is going to save us all and the God of the Bible. And so working all that out, because I subsequently learned that Rastafari is a conscious spiritual philosophy. But it doesn't mean that all Rastafarians say, do and believe the same things, because it's every doctrine, to my mind, is personal to the individual. It's how you interpret it and how you choose to live it. So my Rastafari walk certainly started before the musical journey. As I said, my mother was a Rastafarian, and I remember as a youngster going to a Rastafarian, you can call it a church. They used to call it a mission. in Trenchtown. And the seats were just boards nailed on stumps that were planted in the soil. There wasn't even like a proper flooring. But I remember going there and how humble the gathering was and how edifying the speak. It wasn't like a preacher preaching down to you or tell you. And you have to do it. It was some people sharing information about how it was wonderful. I learned about, started learning about the diaspora from there. And some Afrocentric people desire to repatriate to Jamaica, to Africa. And I must say, the feeling I got in that early church there, it was never matched in any other church. I went on to go to Kingston Parish Church, which was Anglican. I went to Baptist Church with my grandmother. I went to Salvation Army Church with my, when you're young and you move among different parents, you do what they do. So if they go to a certain church, you go there too. If they don't go, they send you to Sunday school. And I've never been to a church after that I've got the warmth and the feeling of belonging and understanding what the preacher was saying, like that church to this day. So
So what did Rastafari in the era that you spoke about in terms of in the 70s? What did the Rastafari movement represent in the political upheaval that was going on in Jamaica at the time?
Well, I always thought that the Rastafarian movement held the balance of power in Jamaica. But we never grouped and progressed along the socio-economic line, you know, because Rastafarians were humble people, staying off the grid, the social grid as much as possible, and boycotting what they think was not natural and good for the body or your health. But when Rastafarians when Bob Marley became so commercially successful, and that added feature of Rastafari, you know, being commercial money earners at a big level. Rasta come of age grew out of that observation. Up to today, I'm thinking that there's so much artists that have been established under the name of Rastafari, millions of dollars and pounds, money of whatever currency, made by Rastafarian artists or people who say they are Rastafari, but nothing's done to the community. All this money is just personalized, and everyone forgot that they use the movement and the name and the image to garner this kind of wealth, and nothing is. A guy might get a scholarship to go to a school or pay some people's rent or help your community, but generally speaking, the movement could have been really a movement, because an organization, if it's not organic in nature and it's not growing and doing things for the people in it, and so it's good enough to preach about things, but to do things, as love is an action word. So this thing saying that the work has just begun, the fact that, you know...
But let me just read the lyrics here, because you say, it's a beautiful lyric, because you say, Rasta...
Come of age in this time.
Yes.
After a long and uphill climb.
Right. But then you say, but the work has just begun.
Yes.
Yeah, so after the long and uphill climb, we're just that. We're not going to wait.
Well, life is an uphill climb to the bottom, you know.
Yes.
So whenever you top, you go down back. So the work was just starting then.
Right.
No time to mess around, because some people making some money and things, but...
and
His Majesty, the message His Majesty left in Jamaica was, you have to organize and centralize.
And come as well.
And that the financial era, financial aspect of life was going to be the Third World War.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that you are observing the coming of age that you're speaking about is more the popularization of Rastafari. Yeah, and even the commercialization of Rastafari. So now we've got some notoriety.
Yes.
But the work is still to continue.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you're reminding us.
Because there's only a few people who were establishing the thing at the time.
Right.
But now that it has international acceptance, the work has just begun.
Yes.
No time to mess around. Many battles are to be won. Because you have to win the social battle, the economic battle, the philosophical battle. Name the battles.
This song, your answer to these questions has given me new appreciation for the song, in the sense of the fact that you projected into the future.
Yes.
Because as we were discussing before we came on camera, just in terms of the relevancy of now, just what I'm saying. But it's like to be observing, because Rastafari for many people was still young in the 70s. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so to have the foresight.
Yes.
To see where that was going and understand that we need to focus on the work and not the acceptance or the popularization, but the works.
The deeper works.
I have newfound appreciation
Thank you.
for the song. You know what I mean? So in saying that now,
it also instructed the fact that we're not interested in color or class. Because we're the first and the last.
And the last, yes.
You understand? And so I try to address the all aspects of the society.
Yes. So where would you say? Because obviously there's an evolution in Rastafari. If I got two questions to that, you know. All right, let me ask you about first of all your own personal evolution in Rastafari, and then where would you say that, looking at the situation now, what would you say needs to be the evolution from here on out? What are the things that the movement needs to focus on?
The world, as it is evolving, isn't a joke.
Which is another one of your songs.
And the fight is really just beginning. My Rastafarian outlook is that it's my philosophy and my Afrocentricity. I don't speak of God. Because I don't worship anyone in the flesh as God. As one of my brethren, Mutabaraka said, but if a man could be God, he still has to give that too. But right now, I have a little different concept of God, which I don't necessarily need to share a lot about. But I have my personal concept of God.
Yes, sir.
And I don't look outside of myself for God. I don't see where the movement is going because it's so splintered. As a matter of fact, there are some of the strongest Rastafarian movements I've seen are not in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Like I'm in Italy doing a show and somebody said I asked the guy, white guy, how come so many have dreadlocks? He said, oh, well, we consider ourselves children of Hannibal. Some white guy saying this. And somebody said to him, where you from? Him said, Rome. And so the person said, wow, I'd love to go to Rome. He said, fire upon Rome.
This is in Italy, yeah?
Yeah. So what comes out of all of this for me is, I think I'm probably the first person who ever mentioned years ago in this country in an interview with David Radigan that Jamaica is a cultural superpower. Because I'm listening to British black music for the past 3 months, and the what you call it, the jargons, male and female, even the great what's his name, Stormzy.
Yes,
I really have a lot of admiration for him. I hear a lot of Jamaican influence in him.
Yes.
And this even the African rappers. They borrow a lot from Jamaica. So Rastafari and Marcus Garvey are the beacons of Afrocentricity in the Caribbean and the Western world, so to speak. Because Marcus Garvey influenced even Martin Luther King et al. I can't speak for other Rastafarians, but the 12 tribes came as very progressive. Then you have the Bubble House, then you have this house, and then you have that house, and they all seem to be saying different things. So, and anything becomes religionistically active, so to speak, have the fight. I mean, in Christendom, 7 days say different things from Methodists. Anglicans say different things from 7 days. So once you get into the religion to me is an attempt to politicize spirituality. And religion is a man-made thing. Spirituality is inborn. So I can't speak for the Rastafarian community. I'm observing, and like my observation, I said earlier on, I don't see them treating the community as a community. And I can't blame a person if they dreadlocks up, wear colors, heal His Majesty, make millions of dollars, and you don't know people's private life. But surely if there was a progressive push towards unity and community, it would have started already. I don't know what the future holds, but I don't see much of that happening to come. People protecting them because everybody's protecting their cash, you know, their material wealth. So I can't speak for anyone but myself in the Rastafari community.
Blessings on blessings, I am open to receiving them. Raising my vibration, attracting all the good things on this frequency of divine intervention. Although I don't always see, I can feel them. Know your power. We are all divine. This is Tasha Makita, bigging up Kush TV, the UK's #1 online conscious platform. Blessed love.
So I couldn't be here. I think the earliest song that I would have known from you is the song that you mentioned earlier with yourself and Master Griffiths, Young, Gifted and Black. Yeah?
Okay.
Grew up on that song there. And to the point whereby I thought it was an original Jamaican song.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Which is funny because it's a Nina Simone cover.
Yes.
And growing up, I actually thought Nina Simone was Jamaican. You know why? Because the song My Baby Don't Care For Me used to mash up the dance and my parents dancing in it. So I assumed it was just
it's actually a scabby too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounded like it. So I assumed Nina Simone was from Jamaica as a young child. Did it? Obviously, you grew up and you learn different. So the first time I heard Nina Simone's Young, Gifted and Black, it sounded very strange to me.
Yeah.
It did sound strange because I was used to, you know what I mean? But
what you thought was the original.
Well, I thought it was the original, you know what I mean? But it suggests to me that the Black Power era, and you kind of alluded to this earlier, that the Black Power era was a major influence, inspiration. Could you speak to that at all?
What I observe about Black Americans up to Trump, much less now, the fight is that they're always protesting for a right, fighting for a right. We don't have that in the rest of the African diaspora. You know, we have workers strike and professionals strike, but we don't have a movement that will fight, march, advocate for a certain right until it's given. And the Americans, African Americans, have this verve, this ongoing move. I guess because they were, I'd say, slavery work. They were more aware of enslavement and so-called abolition. And so I was always aware of the fact that they were always struggling to be seen, to be heard, and to be reckoned with, to get things done. And so I hope that some of what other writers and myself wrote about the ills of society would have brought more people into the mix. But it makes the people conscious and aware, but they are not given to be mobilized and to move forward And I think it's because Rastafari is, while it is highly recognized and appreciated in Jamaica today as the conscience of the society, the push as an organ to say, to lobby, we don't have. And the Black Americans have that. They're always lobbying somewhere for something. And I envy that. We are not like that in Jamaica or in other areas of the Caribbean. I guess because the American Constitution is well recognized by Americans. And so the thing about the right for free speech is very deeply embedded in the Black American consciousness.
Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that our brothers and sisters in America never had an illusion of independence? Because they said we was independent in 1962, innit?
Yeah.
And so it gives the impression that, you know, we have some semblance of freedom. You know
we never really got independence.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They just, again, independence is something someone don't give you on a piece of paper.
Yes, sir.
Independence is something you fight and win. So we haven't even touched upon that yet in the Caribbean islands.
Yeah.
We don't have any leaders who represent that.
Yes.
The leaders still work for the IMF, the World Bank, the multilaterals. And we have in Jamaica sacrificed all over what you would call patrimony to the multilateral institutions, because when they're going to give you a loan, which you have to use it how they specify, but you have to put up a collateral. And if you don't pay this, so as a consequence, we have lost Air Jamaica, we have lost the flour mill,
the beach,
we have lost bauxite, we have lost
banana,
name it.
Everything gone. Yeah.
And so because we send all our good things abroad, Jamaica is a migrant society, we send our best brains abroad too. Because I mean, if you won't pay your nurses, then England and America will take them. So the band plays on, and slavery just changes a different face as it progresses down the line.
Yes.
I mean, you tell people that capitalism was a derivative of slavery. America had to be great, because if you're getting free labors from millions of people, how come you're not going to be great? You'd have to pay salary, you'd have to pay wages, you'd have to pay health benefits.
So you know, but we're speaking about the song "Young, Gifted and Black," and for some people, it might seem strange that a song written by Nina Simone, a woman living in a majority white country, where one could easily appreciate the need for the message "Young, Gifted and Black," that message could be so relevant in a country that is majority Black. Yeah, why? So what is it about the lyrics to that particular song that yourself and Mama Marcia Griffiths found so much relevancy in for the people of Jamaica?
The song was recorded by two other Jamaican artists, you know. I don't know if the Players or the Heptones, but Prince Buster had a version also.
Okay.
So we had
to search that one there, because I haven't heard that one.
So Harry Johnson, who Marcia knew.
Yes.
Harry J.
Yes.
He had a band called the Checkmates that she was the frontline singer for. So I met him through Marcia, and he came to where we were living one day in 1969. That time, Games People Play was a big hit for me. And he invited me, he said he wanted me to hear a rhythm. And I asked Marcia if she wanted to come, and she said, yeah, I'm going to Dynamic Sounds. Judy Mowat was there.
Okay.
Norris Ware, a guy from the group Jamaicans, was there. And so when I heard the rhythm, and Harry J said, well, you see, Nina Simone is Young, Gifted and Black. Up to now, at that time, I never heard a lot of the Nina Simone, because it wasn't getting a lot of plays through some other Jamaicans had it going.
Yes.
I recorded the song. I arranged it.
Okay.
He initially wanted me to sing on the song alone. But having invited Marcia, I said, well, you could take a verse and I take a verse. And Norris, Judy, and us together would provide the vocal harmonies. And that is what happened. And the lyrics weren't new to me, because I was in the movement in my spirit already.
Yes.
but to actually hear it enunciated and given to us as in lyrics and melody. So I sung the song just to please Harry J.
Okay.
And never thought anything of it.
So what was it a big hit in Jamaica at the time?
Not really. It became a hit before there.
Right.
And it came here and Trojan Records put it out.
Okay.
And they took it back because someone suggested that if it had orchestras, if it had strings, it would reach a very wide audience. They took it back, put the strings on, re-released it.
Good choice.
Yes, and like I said, for me, what I learned most about the song, up to this day, well, it doesn't surprise me as much, but we were singing to largely white audiences. We were singing Young Gifted and Black, the era of the skinheads. So it's just phenomenal. I mean, so sometimes afterwards, political writers and students create formats to write about the philosophy of the music and the social aspect, but not before. So they only analyze and write.
No, right. So you didn't fully appreciate the impact of the song at the time.
I mean, since we were here, Bianca and myself, we were walking on Portobello Road, and sometimes some of the people your age that I run into or meet up with, and they would, I had to say to her, I didn't realize that song had created that impact.
Oh yeah, in this country,
yes,
it was an anthem.
I am amazed that how to this day, some people say it's the beginning of their black consciousness in this country.
Yes.
That generation. So it's heartening to know that could happen, and it's given me a new found self-respect and appreciation for what I do.
Yes, sir.
You know, and the Jamaican artist.
Yes, sir. You know, now we give thanks to that song. Like I said, I think it's my first consciousness of Bob Andy is that particular song. You know what I mean? So we just give thanks. I couldn't have the interview and not ask you what that should be. You know what I mean? Having said that, just you as a writer, there's another song that you wrote that Master Griffiths probably has the most popular version of the song, and that's Keep the Fire Burning. Yeah, just give an explanation as to what that song was about. So Feel the Fire Burning.
Oh wait, you need to cut me out. But it's important to know that Fire Burning was also pulled and banned from the radio in Jamaica.
I didn't know that.
Because they were worried. Michael Manning's government specifically was worried that it would incite riots.
All right, well, we can deal with that. I did not know that. Thank you for throwing that in. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Feel the Fire Burning was banned. But it's such a nice tune. I don't know about that tune there. It's such a nice tune. Go on. Sorry.
Well, the song itself was being talked about I watched some television programs, and the religious people were always talking about the songs. Why should a song like that be relevant in Jamaica today, and how prophetic it was.
What year was this released?
72.
1972, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And this is Hugh Shearer's government?
No, this was Michael
Manning's
first term.
First term, okay. So all on there. So the song was banned. This is Marcel Griffith's version of the song?
No,
your version of the song?
Marcel did it years after.
Years after. Okay. Brave. All right. So wait.
My version was a hit still, you know.
No, yeah.
And if you ban a song, you draw more
attention to it. Yeah. Okay, so this for the sake of the viewers, just recite some of the lyrics to the song.
I was drawn into myself, observing all this time. From every angle I could see my people were meeting hell. The brothers have turned to crime, so they die from time to time. I'd like to ask you leaders what you have in mind. Once you touch the leaders now.
God. Yeah.
So, you know, we went to do a small version of a show, an award show that we did whilst Michael Manley was out of the country.
Yes.
And when he came back, his wife Beverly Manley asked if we could do a mini version of the show.
Okay.
Because they heard how big it was, and you know, it was the first time we had Jamaica Philharmonic Orchestra on stage, arranged by Peter Ashburn to do strings and the songs.
Okay.
And so we took a scaled down version of it to play for the elected officials at Jamaica House. And I refused to sing because I didn't know that we were going to be singing in a supper place where people will be eating and drinking and chatting. So I said, no, I'm not going to be singing. I was invited to a supper club. So anyway, after the performances, they lined up the artists, and introduced Michael Manley to the
Okay.
coming down the line. So, boy, don't have any money, you know, somebody singing for so much years, and my mother don't live nowhere. And next artist said, well, I want this and so he got down to me and the man said, so Mr. Prime, this is the famously infamous Bob. And them say, oh, I know Bob's music. Said, what can I do for you? I said, you can't do nothing for me. You can give us, me and my colleagues are copyright law, so we can have access to international convention. But him said, so you need to see, him say you're a serious man. I said, what we live in serious times. Him say, you need to see me.
Okay.
So the secretary wrote me down and I went to Jamaica House and saw him and we sat and the first thing he asked me, said, do you have certain mobilization skills? And I said, why? He said, well, every time we call the artists and suggest anything to them about anything going forward, them say, make Bob and they do it. So I said, I don't have any idea why. But maybe they like my lifestyle or the things that I say. And we talked and he was asking me about the people who had released the record and why. And I said, well, you know, I'm a songwriter and see things. So there's a thing about Sam Cooke being interviewed by Dick Clark. And he said, he said, well, if you observe people and their times of day, you'll know what to write. And so in observing what is happening, and we couldn't get into the discussion, and he just said to me, well, you know who the biggest boy in Jamaica is? I said, well, trying to figure out who was the biggest boy in Jamaica. A guy in the prison called Kid Ralph, big thick guy who was always charged for not necessarily rape, but things like that. And when he saw I was struggling, he just got up and beat himself in the chest 3 times and said, I'm the biggest boy in Jamaica. The people said so. Tell your friends that. So I walked out of Jamaica House saying, I wonder what kind of intimidation I could have. I don't see why I could intimidate the Prime Minister if him ever tell me say him is the biggest boy in Jamaica. I don't know, say he was the leader.
So it's interesting to me that you spoke earlier about having written a song that was kind of inspired by Michael Manley, and it was his government that ended up banning your song. That's a very interesting turn of events.
Well, we must have found out that it included him.
Right.
You understand?
So even with the inspiration.
Come with say, we have to ask you leaders.
Yes.
What you have in mind. He was a leader, so naturally he had the questions to answer.
The beautiful thing about this song though is that the lyrics are so pertinent, but you spoke earlier about being able to pen good lyrics and put good melody to it, and the melody is so mellow. Yeah, it's a beautiful melody. It don't sound fiery at all, but the lyrics are, you know what I mean?
Somewhere in the earlier days that about to say, when this protest coming, R&B melodies.
Yeah, man, it sounds like a love song to reggae.
My move to music was inspired by Black American music.
Yes.
That's what I heard first.
Yes.
So when I changed my lyrical concept, the melodies were already there. Yeah. And so I see Bob Marley as a militant protest.
Yes.
I see myself as a more subtle.
Yes.
You know? Yes. But check it out. The last time I went for an award, earlier on this year, somebody said to me, the best 2 lines in any song, anywhere at any time was the rise in the price is to make more money for who's got plenty.
Yes.
And the trick of the trade is to keep the empty bellies empty.
Just check it out. That was the first time we talked about it.
So it is easy to come up with a political song.
Yes.
And enough people singing about Darling, I Love You. And
I know something. There's a well-known Peter Tosh clip that comes to mind right now. You know. So was the song ever unbanned? Was it ever?
Well, the JBC was a government station. So, but then the people had already taken the song to heart by then. So it's been played on the radio now.
Yeah.
But at the time, they were just getting accustomed to writers criticizing them. Put that on hold for a while. Okay.
And funny enough, this is also an era though in which the government had artists writing songs for them, and Duns had people writing songs for them as well, and all kind of different thing. So it was. I want to put it in perspective because you could lose your life, at this time for writing a song that criticized the government. These people were losing their life for this. Michael Smith comes to mind, the poet, comes to mind. This is not a joke. So I want to put that into context. The idea behind what you're talking about, right?
And if you are consistent with that kind of behavior, they watch you. They target you. But when I became chairman of the Caribbean Copyright Organization, and they banned my music literally from the radio because I was fighting this copyright thing.
Yes.
But the songs were already known from the dancehall, so people knew them. But as long as I was fighting the copyright fight there.
Then lock it down. And that's funny because there's a lot of talk right now in the Jamaican music industry about the copyright issue. You know what I'm saying? I hear discussions about it all the time in the industry. From the people that are working in the industry right now, the artists, the managers, the producers that are still trying to organize the Jamaican music industry around the copyright issue. It's why we need to learn the lessons that we're history people, you know what I mean? Because if we did and listen to the voice of the elders more, some of the things that we're going through right about now, we just wouldn't be going through. It's just a reality, you know what I mean?
It's so difficult for successive generations to. It's important that the elders pass on the message.
Yes.
But then they're bombarded with so many other messages.
Yes.
And as time progresses,
it
doesn't look very good for black people.
Yes.
Because they have totally recolonized Africa. I mean, when I'm hearing the amount of American bases in Africa,
military bases,
so you can't fight them because they train your soldiers, but they don't train them as good as theirs. We don't own any industries. We don't own any airlines. We don't own any shipping lines.
If you remember the airlines, it's a black time.
It's a recent development.
That's a good one.
In the scheme of things.
In
the scheme of things, nothing.
Black hair care.
We're getting there. We're still minnows in the game in the black hair care industry, but
we still have not yet as a people develop markets outside of their markets. The powers that be, they own the arms, they own the money, they have the power. So it seems to me that we're going to have to just be losing lives and sacrifices before we get anywhere. And I think black people lose enough. We kill each other enough.
To be losing more lives.
Yes.
Well, I'll come back to what you just said at the end so we can wrap up on some forward future projection. I do want to come to another song before we get there. And I'm going to read the lyrics because I think these are very pertinent lyrics. I was listening to them in my earphones on the way down, and it's a song called "You Don't Know." I do want to come to another song before we get there. And I'm going to read the lyrics because I think these are very pertinent lyrics. I was listening to them in my earphones on the way down, and it's a song called "You Don't Know." Okay. And poetry. I'm a poet by the way, so I appreciate lyrics on another level. But the song says, "You don't know, you don't know how you make your family feel. To do the things you know are real. Say the things that you please. They say you're on cocaine. You should change your name. They even say you're insane. You don't know how you make your teachers feel when you write the things you know. That should be RE.
Things you know.
Yes. Okay. Discuss the things you've learned. They say you're dropping out. You'll be a thief. Without a doubt. For a youth, your heart is too stout, You know what I mean? It's like there's more, yeah, but I believe I know where you're going with this, yeah. But I want you to explain for me what was the vibes in this tune, yeah.
When you especially middle class boys,
yes,
when them start smoke herb, and I told them here,
yes,
everybody say, "I'm not on workless."
Yes.
I'm not out for nothing. You have become a dirty rasta.
Yes.
You have take drugs.
Yes.
And the way you talk, you must have taken stuff on somewhere we don't know.
Yes.
So that inspired that song.
Yes.
The song was actually finished written in England and voiced at Shark Farm Studios.
Okay.
So that's why it was. A lot of Jamaicans don't even know that song in my catalogue.
Yeah, no.
It's an English live.
Yeah.
And that song you don't know.
Yeah.
Are two English favorites.
I can tell you why. And this probably mirrors the experience of a lot of people in Jamaica actually. But because in the 70s, because a lot of the youth them that were born here.
And Coke wasn't even present in Jamaica when I wrote
Right.
Talking about.
So again, foresight. Yes.
And I know about the American youth.
Yes.
One of the guys who was in the Paragons went to school with Little Anthony and Imperials.
Yes.
Junior Men's, he went down to become a part of the techniques. Girl is a good girl.
Yes.
That's the kid there.
Yes.
Who gave the Paragons its name. So I got a lot of insight from him of how black schools in America were run. And the kind of behavior, you know. He even said that he died from cocaine. He jumped off a balcony in New York.
Okay.
And so out of those
experiences. No, yeah, because it mirrors a lot of the stories that I hear from my elders when they came into the movement. Not just Rastafari, just the Pan-African movement in general. But in particular Rastafari, because of the image of Rastafari, the lux and the herb and everything there. And you could be disowned by your family. You know what I'm saying? You could be abused on the street, and you know what I mean. So when I hear these lyrics, that you don't know how you make your family feel. Yeah, to do the things you know are real. It's like, I come in at this consciousness.
Yes, what's real to you is not to them.
It's not to them.
Why you ganja?
Let me read this next one. It says, you make your rich friends dumb to hear you're in the slums, existing on just crumbs. They don't know the peace within that you share with your ghetto's kin. You're tired of rich happenings.
That's the middle class of a middle class boys who are dropping out from parents and hanging out in the ganja camp.
Yes.
And going home. Just a nuts food on the thing.
Yes.
No matter what with school, no more them literally drop out. I said, boy, I'm going to Rasta because that little girl who started the movement about climate breakdown. They say, it makes sense to go to school if we not go out now. Earth will live on later on.
Yes.
It's basically that kind of thing.
Yes. No, it's a powerful, and it's the way how it's just put together here.
Yes.
The story behind it, and the sense of reflection in terms of, you don't know how you make your. I like the way you put it together. You know what I mean? So we love that one day. You know what I mean? That's a personal poetical favorite. We like it. So we give thanks. Just briefly, because the chorus is so simple and effective. Well, I'll just touch upon mash it up. Yeah. Very quickly. Well, yeah, cause it's basically it. They want to mash up the world and all them something there. But what's the lyrics in the first verse to that song?
Once upon a time, a country was so fine, a people so fine, and the sun would always shine. But wicked people mash it up, mash it up. I don't remember the full lyrics of that song.
Yes.
I remember when I was voicing it at Treasure Eye Studios.
Yes.
Well, I love my country, And when I have ideas, if I think I could make a difference in politics, maybe I'd have gone into politics. But most countries, so-called democracies, have this ironclad thing of two parties, and hardly allow a third one to come in.
Yes.
So I would certainly join in the two ongoing parties because them have them manifesto line up already.
Yes.
I don't know what they represent. Because my whole thing is that the only thing that happened when we say we get independence, some black man just moving out with the white man and so I know the thing same way. So nothing really changed.
Mm-hmm.
So where we're coming from? What was I answering there?
Mash it up, yes.
So it seemed to me that that's what they're always doing.
Mm-hmm.
That song particularly came out of the fact that guns became a permanent tool for fighting politics. And so that, because it's Jamaicans killing off Jamaicans, the two political parties. So when you have the youth killing each other to support you, if you mash up, because the real estate that is Jamaica is a land. If there is no people on it, it's not a country. It's people make a country. So if you're destroying the people, then you're mashing up the country. So that was my philosophy at that. And got a chance to express it as I wasn't even ready to record this song. Ready to put this album together.
Yes.
The song is, for me, it's not fully finished. It's an idea that has not been finished.
Okay.
But the message is there.
Okay.
And people get what I'm saying.
Yes. Well, I mean, we're gonna move towards the conclusion of this interview, but I want to be future, present and future focused. Yeah. First of all, just in terms of what you see as some of the issues that we need to be focusing on as people, as movements, as artists, in this dispensation of time that we need to be focusing on, and try to address.
I have a problem with the international education curriculum.
Okay.
It doesn't address issues. People are not being trained for appropriate contributions. I mean, a man go to school and he study natural science and then come out and work as a banker. You know what I mean? And come out of school as a doctor and him go work. His main push is not to save lives, but to get rich. You understand? The people who have had the benefit of education are the people who have brought the world to the stage it is. So something is wrong with that system of education.
Yes.
And if education is just regurgitating information rather than making a transformation, because anyone can be educated, a white man can be educated, you know. So I have more admiration and trust in the people who do things, create things, invent things, work with their hands. We just have too many people working with their brains who are not really making a contribution, but find ways to transfer the wealth from the poor to the rich continually. And there are many people like me in the world. So in that sense, I still have a certain amount of trust in humanity. But everywhere I look, since the days of enslavement, black people don't seem to be at the bottom of, so Jay-Z as one black boy, poet and businessman, he becomes a billionaire. But you know how much million black people in America and all over the world. So yes, we wait for Jay-Z, but that don't mean nothing to me. If a block of people can move in and say, listen, there's a Black Wall Street once in America, you know that. So I'm saying, it's difficult to have a country within a country. But I'm saying, you would think if a people have their own method of making money, of running their state, educating their people with the resources they garner, they shouldn't be killed of burnout. That's a model. But the major countries who control the politics and the arms of the day don't allow any kind of opposition to what they're selling. I don't know, I really, at one time I thought, because I wrote some songs that things happened, consider myself as kind of prophetic some ways. Not because I'm in a special skill or in divine order or anything, but to me, a lot of what prophecy is calculation. See what's happening down the road.
Yes.
If this is happening here, you know, and the rate of so then by so and so will happen. But all I can see, I was saying that I wasn't going to say anything about Israel, you know. But Israel is a place, is where if peace ever happens in that area, peace will go all over the world. But because of that example, I don't see no hope. I don't see how the Palestinians are not going to be decimated in the long run if it continues.
I just want to let you know you're on Kush TV, so you can say anything you want to say.
I don't know enough about it formally. But the little I know, it don't look like justice to me. And it is being defended by the people who have the power again. So obviously that is how they want the world to go. I mean, when you're going to ask people who defend cultures in England or America to fight these battles when they're just calling England, them can push out when they want to push out. I don't have any answers. I am appreciative and I admire the fact that there's a lot of information out there now about Africa and African people that we can use to benefit and service our movements going forward. But it's a hard, long battle.
Well, as you say, you know, we've come a long way, but it just begun, you know? It just began. You know what I mean?
So I love to see the Africans themselves success on.
Yes.
You know, my thing is this: the system is failing as far as I'm saying. So I don't know why like African countries modeling themselves after this failing system. You can only come second. I don't come to the race at all. So I await the African leader. I wait to see what will happen. Not one who is as extremist as Mugabe. Because Mugabe has some good things about him. But I understand why he's an extremist. But I'd love to see an African state that just say, listen, we just leave us alone because we don't want the technology. We don't want it because everybody will get to go down there anyway. So we just leave us not to fight and build a model ourselves. We have enough brains in Africa, enough land, enough people that they can self-determine their destiny.
Blessings on blessings, I am open to receiving them. Raising my vibration, attracting all the good things on this frequency of divine intervention. Although I don't always see, I can feel them. Know your power. We are all divine. This is Tasha and Makita, bigging up Kush TV, the UK's.
And finally, just focusing more specifically on the music. We can make it specific to reggae music or just black music in general, But in terms of, I mean, reggae music is known, thanks to people like yourself, to be message music, And obviously, you know, we've had various debates over since the 80s about the impact of dancehall, you know what I'm saying, and these things. But I'd like to know where you see the state of reggae music as it stands now, particularly in terms of the messages that are coming through it and the influence that it's having on youth, social movements, and these kind of things.
I look at the thing as Jamaican music, which reggae is an idiom or a genre. The message that some of the messages that are coming out in the post-reggae era, dancehall, sing, rap, it's carrying the message just the same. It is even more militant now. And like I say, every generation has to have its say. And I see guys like, same guy, one name,
Prodigy?
No, man.
Chronix?
Chronix?
No,
Stormzy?
Stormzy.
Look for the Stormzy thing, you know. I want you to know what Stormzy, Bob Andy's a fan.
Yes, no, I'm not a fan. I'm a disciple.
A disciple, you say? I strong over that.
I'm a fanatic.
Yeah, I stand corrected.
But what he does,
yes,
and how he does it, resonates with me deeply.
Yes.
I don't call him a grime artist because I see him have everything. Grime is what his genre is.
Yes.
But the man have the whole spectrum.
Yes.
He writes pretty good songs.
Yes.
And it's song about social corners of my mind.
Yes.
So like a Beatle material to me, something like Lennon and McCartney.
Okay.
So, and the way he uses his platform to acknowledge his peers and the shoulders on which he stands and his contribution to his community and society is ideal for as an artist. So beautiful. I see them carrying on the work.
Okay.
The whatever the Beanie Man, the poor people's governor, all them man make them impact.
Yes.
You know, they have the Shaggy and the Sean part, not as socially conscious in their music. Not that they're not socially conscious, but in their music, they're not singing or rapping about socio-political, economic changes, and that's important. That artists who have the voice and the stage to, if they're serious, address those things.
Yes.
And keep advocating them as they go through. So in that sense, there's hope that the artists reflect. We're at a stage in life now where I think life is imitating art and art is imitating life. I mean, they clash at this point in time now. So you just have to be steadfast in what you do. And like I said, we spoke about copyright earlier on, but the youth have to get around the copyright problem because they learn from us being robbed. That they must come to the thing with a manager, a lawyer, an accountant. So the thing settles themselves. The thing set for them. It's only if a man run into trouble now and he have to go leasing catalogue to a bank to get some money. But generally speaking, the generations are demanding about that.
Fantastic. All right. You know what? Your response has prompted a slight extra question here, and this is just to do with the intergenerational element. Because there's a big debate in a lot of genres of black music right about now in terms of the extent to which the younger generation respect the older generation, and to the extent to which the older generation values what the younger generation is doing, whether they see it as artistic or not. And you've just given me, or what I've learned today is that you keep your eye on what the younger generation is doing. You follow the thing and you appreciate it. So I want to know from you what you think is the importance of that, having that intergenerational exchange in music.
Well, it's good to run a race. And pass the baton and see the race to be run.
Right.
And my generation has passed the baton. And the youth are dealing with it very, very. I mean, I have been in close touch with Chronix, Protege, Janine.
My artist that, Janine. When you say Janine, sorry. I put stuff and salute, you know.
And so Raging Fire, those youth, I advise them, they will have close interaction.
Yes.
So I'm interested to see how they progress. And I'm always there as a sounding board. But my respect, I do have a very deep respect for allowing the generation of the day to have their say. And it should be so. Politicians are too long in office. Term limits and them things should be a must. I mean, when are they going to hand over to the youth to run their own generation? We don't want some 90-year-old guys telling some 30-year-old guy what to do with his life. When he probably messed up his. Give him a chance to mess up his now. As long as they're not breaking the laws. As even the scripture, which I'm not a Bible beater, will say, God himself called upon the youth because they are strong. So you have to get the youth to blind.
Yes, sir.
You know, like my daughter coming on, she's doing things in the music business that I can't do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it is natural that the baton is passed to the next leg. Why someone want to run 30 legs? And then I hear PJ Patterson commending Eddie at his funeral the other day for having done 43 consecutive terms in office. That man never lost his seat once. Boring. Come on. I mean, what can you achieve if you just do it? You achieve for yourself, but what do you achieve for the country?
Yes.
I have a very cynical view of some of that.
Yes.
Always,
as you should.
Always give the generation of the day, let them run.
Yes, sir.
Love them, man.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, a lot of us screw up our lives, and then you tell. One of the problems we have with generation is that elders, adults, by virtue of being adults, believe that they are always right. So they talk down to children. And what the children, a child is an individual unit and has human rights because it's your child. When you say you can beat upon them or try to force them into the areas that you have to watch what the child wants and support the child. But we just want one observation and I say, the rest of my piece.
So we give thanks, you've been writing your observations in your songs for generations, and they've raised a couple of generations now.
Yes.
So we give thanks.
Yes,
and
that's what I think we should work on, our generation. What is great about Jamaica and Jamaican people and the culture, we have a unique kind of culture. Consciousness is the other one. We have a unique the first thing, if you behave a certain way in Jamaica, I say, no consciousness. There's a certain consciousness of self.
Yes.
Because that's what Rastafari implies. First tenet, first tenet is preservation of life. Because nature says that. First law of nature is preservation. Then you have to know what to preserve in yourself. You have to know yourself. When you know yourself, you can begin to think and start knowing others. So that is where I am in my knowing who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you're not going to know who to love and who to love you.
Yes, sir.
So if you can't do that, you're going to love somebody else.
Yes, sir.
So I understand all the big movements and everything, but I really do believe everything starts with the individual. And I want an individual that I hear all the philosophies, all the preachings, but I will never ever give up my individuality to the collectives.
Yes, sir.
Because the majority is always wrong. They come because they're the majority, but they're wrong. Because it's the majority always are voting the idiots they want to like.
Bob Andy, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you being here as a younger generation, speaking to the elder generation. You know what I mean? And it's a pleasure for us to expose your legacy to our audience. We know, we trust that you will all take inspiration, knowledge, wisdom, understanding from the words of our elder, our legend in our midst right about now. You know what I mean? So we give thanks once again. We give thanks to Sister Bianca for helping to coordinate this thing. You know what I mean? Kush TV family. Yeah, we're bringing it to you. We bring you the best. We bring you the legends. Kush. Then nothing. Don't know. Do you remember? You ain't got nothing if you ain't got Kush.
Blessings on blessings, I am open to receiving them. Raising my vibration, attracting all the good things on this frequency of divine intervention. Although I don't always see, I can feel them. Know your power. We are all divine. This is Tasha and Makeda, bigging up Kush TV, the UK's #1 online conscious platform. Blessed love.
Hey yo, it's Swish.
My name is JJ Bola.
This is Shakara. Hi sister. My name is Empress Imani.
What's up? It's the world changer McKellamine and you're locked on to GotKush.
Kush.
Kush.
GotKush TV, the conscious platform for all conscious people. Stay tuned.
There was empires in Africa called Kush, Timbuktu, where every race came to get books. My success to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later we'll all see who the prophet is.